بسم الله والحمد لله وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. Inshallah, in this chapter, as we did all the times, I said if I have a mistake, and when I review videos, sometimes I feel there is mistake even in the ayat or hadith. So anybody see any mistake, just correct it, and this is the best. And most the mistake is common, so inshallah, yani, it's clear. And I'm not trying any times in any chapters or lectures to give like alam or anything, except advice that's it's that I feel from the hadith, from the Quran, from the correct that I read, it's apply in this situation. And all what I have is just thoughts for other Muslims just to share and inshallah to develop. So in this chapters, inshallah, we will cover something, the oppression, which is the zulm. What is zulm? And people right now, they are in severe situation everywhere. So it's good to understand the zulm. What's the zulm? And the biggest zulm is the shirk. As Allah Azza wa Jal said, إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Shirk billah Azza wa Jal, if you commit shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal, you commit something so big, عظيم, to the degrees that Allah Azza wa Jal will never forgive this kind of zulm. إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء. So the biggest zulm that the human being will commit it is shirk billah Azza wa Jal. That's why we have to, every Muslims, we should be very careful about the shirk, and we should advise all the human being just to be out of shirk. And shirk means that you accept somebody except Allah Azza wa Jal to make shara, to make laws, while Allah Azza wa Jal, He create you and He sent the messengers and He sent everything. You, by yourself, from your thoughts, you leave all Allah Azza wa Jal laws aside and you create your own. And that's when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained, when some people, they said, Ma abadnahum, they said, are they put for you laws that prohibits whatever is permissible and reverse? And they said yes. And they said this is the ibadah. And this kind of understanding the zulm in general, it will give you general why Allah Azza wa Jal, He doesn't accept zulm, especially the shirk billah Azza wa Jal. This is the worst zulm for the human being, for himself and for the others. So second zulm, which is the zulm between human being themselves, like when the human being, they create system like the bank system, interest, and insurance, and this is take the profit of the people for nothing and give bad situation for the economy. This is zulm. That's why Islam prevent interest and riba, even when he enter new new lands, Islamic lands. Still, he prevent the Jew and the Christian to deal with the riba, because it's oppression and zulm for themselves. So Islam, even he doesn't like zulm to extend to the people, to the other human being. And this is what Allah Azza wa Jal, this is the difference between the laws of Allah Azza wa Jal and the laws of the human being. Another kind of zulm, like istighlal, or the wealthy people, few people in each country, few, very little percentage, 2%, 1%, sometimes less, sometimes just a few people, count few peoples, they control the whole wealth of the countries. And if you look even in the United States, in China, in India, in Syria, in Pakistan, you will find little percentage of people in India. They are so rich, and their richness is if the human being think about it, the richness doesn't give any benefit for the human being, except for those little percentage. And we are not talking about communist or because it's prohibited in Islam, and Islam leave the capitals, all the times work for the human being. But with this kind of istighlal, with this kind of putting all the wealth of all the whole world with little percentage, this is zulm for the whole human being, including Muslim and non-Muslims. And that's what Islam too trying to reduce the zulm. And sometimes, if you think about it, how come the whole world is losing? If you ask every country, they've said, oh no, we have deficit, we have problems, we have so on and so forth. While nobody win, nobody win. So where is the money goes? And this is all the times is questions. If the United States has deficit, if Russia has deficit, if China has deficit, if Japan has deficit, Europe has deficit, where is the money goes? So everybody losing. If everybody losing, that means the definition for winning, it should be changed. And that's why we have to think in different way how people they think. And that's what start, in the United States sometimes, like the union go and fighting for the bankers. They don't want those very rich people to get richer and richer all the times, and the middle class is squeezing and squeezing all the times. And that's happened because the Western law, it's not really good for the human being. And the communist is not really good for the human being. Both system is not working fine. The only system is it will works fine is Islam. And not because we are Muslim, no, because Allah Azza wa Jal, He is the one He created. And He guarantee it will works for the whole period of time that the human being on the earth. Saying that there's shortage in food in the world because of the people, the population is growing up, it's not true. The animal grows up and everything grows up. Yes, they eat each other, that's right, because this is the balance of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah Azza wa Jal guarantee for every human being and animals and anything on the earth a wealth, a rizq. So we do not accept the theory that we don't have the sources is not enough for the human being, and this is big lying. Inshallah, we will talk about zulm from different kind, and this kind of zulm, it's a little bit different because this is zulm of the scholars, Muslim scholars, for their own Muslims people. And when does that happen? That's happen when the ulama, the scholars of the ummah, they don't give ifta and they don't give advice to the ummah at the right time, and they don't evaluate in the right evaluation. And that's happened to all the times right now. People, they don't hear from this, like when something happened in Egypt or Tunisia or anything in Yemen, in Syria, when the ulama they start saying something and evaluate the situation, they start to evaluate after what's happening is happening. Well, after people they are go through, then they said, oh, this muzaharat is good, like this uprising is good, this uprising is good in Syria, this uprising is good in Tunisia, this uprising is good. But if you look months ago, they don't have any ifta, they don't have any things. So, and sometimes even it get worse after the uprising, like for 6 months and bloods on the street. Then they start thinking, oh, this is good, this is not good, this is uh, people they are oppressed, this is people are not oppressed. If if they think, if they have to think, they have to think right. They have to think first of all the scholars they think as aqlim, as just one region, and they evaluate for one region. And this is completely false, because you cannot evaluate Muslim situation in one spot of the world. It might be the situation in Pakistan is reverse than the situation in Syria, the reverse in Iran. You have to balance. You have to balance out the situation. That's what masalih and madar. They said all of them, they understand there is masalih and madar. What it's better for the Muslim masalih and what is bad for the Muslims. But you have to do this evaluation before these actions happen. And before that, you have to tell the people what they're gonna do. What's the next step? You don't wait for the steps to start in another country and you tell this country, oh, do this and do this or not. I'm talking about general idea. And that's why now we have like 5, 6 country uprising. What can happen next? Are you asking the other Muslim country, Arab or non-Arab countries, to uprising or not? Are you asking for unification or not? Are you asking that those two countries, why one country is uprising, the other countries are just looking at it until it's finished, and so forth. It has to be the ulama. This is dhulm from the ulama, because they have to evaluate. They have to say, to make people comfortable when they do something. They have to know what's masalih, what's good maslaha in this, what's bad maslaha in this, what gonna happen in this, what gonna happen in that situation, and where are we going. In this case, people they will understand and they will go behind you. And and this is why you have to go one to one. Not we just waiting. We waiting for the West. What the West they want this after. We will wait, and then we will talk about it. We they Some people they need this next. We will go and do this after and after. And when evaluate this situation, all the times we're gonna be in problems. So the best way for the ulama is تقدير المصالح. They have to see before the action happen. They have to give the balance. They have to unify as ummah and see where's the maslaha for the whole ummah, not for one country. What's the maslaha for Syria or for Saudi or for Pakistan alone or for Indonesia alone? You have to have all the masalih in Islamic region, and you have to advise the people in this case. And this is give the ulama and the scholars the powers to take over. Inshallah, I just in this short just short speech I just defined the zulm and what should we do. While Allah Azza wa Jal, in opposite way, the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal will be in the hereafter and in this life before the hereafter. It's gonna be for everybody and for even for the animals. If the animals, hit some another animals with no reason, Allah Azza wa Jal make the justice in the hereafter. And that's why we have to just make justice for ourselves too, to take one more step to understand ظلم and justice. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.